Hey, Paul. So yeah, I got the test results back from the doctor.
Sorry, I was on my phone.
Yeah, you were. My God, Paul. Paul, I'm here. I'm here in front of your face, and I want to connect with my best friend.
Okay, great. Yeah.
You are constantly consumed by screens and devices, and I just crave that face-to-face engagement with you.
All right. What could we do about this?
I think the only thing we have left to do is get unique tabletop games that help create those perfect memories delivered right to our door.
Oh, you mean Gamebox Monthly?
Yes. And you too, viewers, get Gamebox Monthly.
Rediscover social.
When it comes to this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's misunderstood.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
So I was reading today on your Facebook that you
Mine?
on your Facebook,
Do I have one of those?
the one that you own. And I was reading that you posted a review about that movie Monster.
Mother.
Mother. Obviously, I read that part. Yes, Mother with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
That puts a little timestamp on this episode. That movie has not yet come out. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because on one of our episodes, we sort of had a discussion about, I guess it was our last episode with Theseus, about the sort of turn of phrase that came out of the guy who stretched the beds to sort of fit the people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember him stretching the beds, but what's the turn of phrase?
He stretched the people
in the bed to fit the bed,
and it became a literary device for an impossible set of standards for which one can be met.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember that character's name right now, but it became known as a blah 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 bed. And you were like, oh yeah, super useful, and you sort of joked about it. The reason I'm bringing up that article, though, is because in the article, they reference an Aesop fable. And I thought that it was... we could talk about the Aesop fable before we get into like the big person that we're talking about in this episode, because it's cool to break that down. Like, oh, look, here's someone just casually using this in a movie review. Was interesting to me.
Yeah, and also like I loved that review, but at the same time, I then like spiraled in my brain because I was at work and I had time to do this, of like how people that write movie reviews are just so like like how smart I am, you know. And
for those at home, Sarah just mimed jacking off a penis.
Yeah, I did. And they try to go over your head, and by going over your head and being like, there's no way you'll pick up on every fucking thing I drop as I, describe how infantile this film is. And they're saying like, I'm smarter than you, so listen to my opinion.
Sure. So when they referenced the scorpion and the frog, did you have any opinion about that, or you never heard that before?
I mean, mortal enemies.
Yeah. So the fable of that is not an Aesop fable, but it's something that evolved from an original Aesop fable. So that fable itself of the scorpion and the frog is, there's been a rainstorm, and there's a body of water now that the scorpion has to cross that he normally doesn't have to cross. And he asks a frog, "Hey, I'm Mr. Scorpion. You're a frog?"
Wait, you're Mr. Scorpion.
I'm Mr. Scorpion.
Yeah, because I'm a frog.
Yeah, okay. So
That's a weird way to introduce yourself, man. Nice to meet you.
Well, so because I need to cross this here river.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've been going back and forth all day.
Yeah, can you potentially taxi me across?
You got one of them stingers on your back. Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, you see, but I have to get across to the other side. So it would make no sense for me. It'd make no sense for me to sting you, because then you die. You get the logic here. I need you to get across, so I'm not going to sting you.
Yeah, well, what about when we get over there?
When we go over to this side, jump back in the water, because the water kills me, and so I won't sting you. I swear.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So the frog ferries Mr. Scorpion across the river, and as they are going halfway across the river, the scorpion stings the frog and dooms both of them. And the lesson that's supposed to be learned from this fable is that you can't change someone's nature. A scorpion will always kill a frog. Like if you invite a bad person into your life, they're going to sink you down with them. You can't expect them to change or be different this one time. So
I think all girls going into the dating world should hear this this fable.
If someone introduces himself as Mr. Scorpion,
I'm Mr. Scorpion.
Stay away.
Big character on Sex in the City.
Yeah, Mr. Big and Mr. Scorpion. Yeah. So the Aesop fable that comes from is from the tale of the farmer and the viper. And it's a pretty similar tale. A farmer is taking care of his farm and it's been snowing, and he sees a snake near death, coiled up on the ground and dying, and he decides to take pity on the snake, picks up the snake in his arms and gives him its warmth near his chest. And then the snake, as soon as it gets warm, bites him in the chest and kills him. And the farmer says loud enough for everyone to hear. And I've seen it worded this way before, and I sort of like it because it seems like such a human attribute to give to a snake, for him to say, like, shame on me for trusting a scoundrel. And I'm like, okay.
The farmer screams that about the snake?
Yeah. And that's basically supposed to be the moral of the story, is that if you sort of like exactly like the frog and the scorpion, that if you put your trust in something evil, then you will, it's your fault in a way. It's a little bit more of a callous version of the frog and the scorpion story.
Yeah, I think that is basically what the movie Mother's supposed to be about too. Of like, well, this guy was it's his nature the whole way through. He's gonna ruin this woman's life. He has to. He's an artist.
Yeah, then and maybe now we don't have to see that movie. Because I did read the rest of the review and it seemed to sort of rip into it in many other ways. But yeah, back to Greek mythology. I think the other reason that I enjoyed rereading about that Aesop fable today is because in our episode about Deedless, they remember the seer killed the two snakes that like knew how to do like magic back to life magic on each other. And you and Jake felt like, oh, poor snakes. I then decided to read about the kinds of snakes that live in Greece, and the whole Balkan Peninsula has an abundance of horned vipers that are among the largest and most aggressive and poisonous snakes in all of Europe. And so you have to think that the ancient Greeks likely associated the snakes with no good attributes at all. That story about the seer killing the snakes, people were probably like, yeah, good. Those snakes are dead.
Yeah.
Because people in their, putting their children to work on their farms, and, their children were probably being killed by snakes left and right.
Well, you know where I came from. There's snakes everywhere. There's rattlesnakes everywhere.
Oh, in Arizona.
In Arizona, yeah.
I thought you just meant like the pits of hell.
No, that's where I currently abide. Yeah, no, there's snakes fucking everywhere in Arizona, and you're just like walking through the tall grass to cut through your journey from the school bus home, and you're just like, could get bit.
Yeah.
This is also a little bit before everyone had a cell phone.
Yeah. Well, that's so.
Did the Greeks? Do they have phones?
The Greeks surely had phones. They invented them. They're the mother of all inventions.
They are.
So, just through the grapevine, at least, they
used a grapevine as a
yes, they
to
did
call each other.
So that moves us on to. Oh yeah, Sarah and I are drinking a maple tea.
You're drinking a maple one as well?
I am.
That's actually really good.
It's a gift that I got for Jake, and now you and I are consuming 2 of the gifts that I gave for Jake out of his box that has lasted him for a very long time, actually, from dear old Canada.
I'm gonna sneak a couple in my purse.
Okay, I think there's only a couple left, so you'll you can just take the box.
I'm gonna take some cash out of his wallet too.
So on that note, we're going to talk about Atalanta. Have you heard of Atalanta before?
I'm not going to make a joke about Georgia.
Well, it does sound like someone misspelled Atlanta's social media handle.
Yes.
But Atalanta is a heroine, and as we, when we started talking about Theseus last week or 2 weeks ago, I felt like let's not wait to talk about Atalanta. Because I feel like so often when we talk about heroes, it's like, here's all the heroes, and there was one female hero, like as if it's like an anomaly at the end. And I would rather just like interject her. Like, let's talk about Atalanta now, because she's a cool lady, and she inspired a lot of what Alexandra last time was talking about, how she learned a lot of what she knows about Greek mythology from watching Xena.
Yeah.
I think that Xena was inspired quite a bit by what Atalanta represented to the Greeks.
I mean, I've been waiting to meet any Greek chick on this podcast that I don't think is a fucking psycho.
Yeah, you might think that some of the things she did is psycho, but
let's see.
We'll find out.
See.
So Atalanta was an Arcadian hero. She was a huntress and was the favorite of the goddess Artemis of all of the heroes. So she's already got Artemis's favor, and Artemis, as we discovered, was, also did some psycho things, but of all of the Olympian gods is probably the least psycho.
I mean, if that's the crown you want to wear.
And she was the daughter of Sconius, or, of course, because there's always an or, Iasos and Clymene. But we'll go with Sconius because that's sort of most often used for her. When Atalanta was born, it was the desire of her father that she was a boy. And when she wasn't a boy, guess what he did? Because so many parents have done this so far already in Greek mythology.
Did he try to kill her?
No, he took her up to a hill and left her.
Okay.
Left her, yeah. And as Atalanta was left there, she, of course, was found by a very maternal mother bear who had recently lost her young.
Aww.
And so she said, I'm going to raise this girl like a cub.
I love unlikely friendships in the animal kingdom. I was watching a cheetah and meerkats today on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I like in my head, a cheetah and meerkats was like the name of a show. Like, a cheetah and meerkats, which is like
if it was a show, there was some good stuff.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I'm greenlighting it.
Great. So she was brought up by the she bear, as they refer to her in the story, for...
Fuck you, it's just a bear. You ever see a bear running at you and you go, it's all right, it's just a girl.
that bear runs like a girl. Yeah, so the...
Girl mauls, that bear mauls like a little bitch.
So the she bear raises Atalanta to about 5 or 6, and then she is found by hunters. And
on a Bambi.
And then the hunters raise Atalanta.
What about the bear?
In the wild from there on. I assume she maintains a solid friendship with her she-bear mother.
The hunters would have killed the bear.
It's not discussed in the story, so I think that the bear. Let's just go with wishful thinking, and the bear is fine. And so she hangs out in the woods. During this time, she gets a vision from Athena, who tells her, when you come of age to be married, resist being married, resist any love of a man, because the moment you have the love of a man, you will fall into great misfortune.
I mean, that's a given for like anyone, but I am so sick of these fucking virgin gods being like, and just like, stay off that dick. Why can't there be a female that we meet who has it all? Who's like, I fight, I fuck, I third F.
Well, so they certainly
I'm
took
fiscally responsible.
They spoiler alert, did not include that in the evolution of Atalanta into Xena for sure. Because Xena gets down.
Xena gets that dick, but it's not, she's also like, in the end, she does not want that dick, right?
Mm-mm.
She's not about it.
Nope, she falls in love.
Mm-hmm.
So because she's trying to maintain herself as a virgin, and also because this itself would suck, she is attacked by centaurs as a teenager, and centaurs notoriously in Greek mythology are always trying to murder and rape.
In that order.
So these three centaurs that for some reason get names in this story, Roikos and Hylaeos. Oh, I lied. There's just two of them. Anyway, they try to force her to have sex with them. And at 16, she has a bow and arrow that she has become so good at using that she slays them both with a bow and arrow before they're able to get close to her. And the fact that she at 16 killed two centaurs with a bow and arrow and was quick enough to draw where she could just be like 1, 2 and like kill both of them started her legend.
That's pretty cool.
People were pretty happy with, well, people liked telling tales of
so
her.
They weren't near her. How'd she know they were trying to, were they just being very vocal with their intentions, like, we're coming for ya and it's gonna be,
I mean, their centaurs, like their lipsticks were probably out and they were just like running towards her.
That's so gross.
I mean,
it's in my brain now.
Well, now you have that in your brain. So that's sort of her
lipstick. Fuck you.
So that's sort of the background for her, and she sort of continues to grow into womanhood, and she's beloved and revered by the other hunters.
That's all it takes in Greek mythology to be a female hero. You're just like, I'm not gonna get raped.
Yeah. I mean, take our victories. Sort of what happens next is known as the Caledonian boar hunt, which is a very famous boar hunt in Greek mythology. In fact, I will show you a painting right now of the boar hunt, and this is not the only painting of this boar hunt. People, what do you look like you're struggling to see it?
No, why is that guy naked?
Well, because classical paintings of Greek mythology, mostly everyone's naked.
He's only wearing a cape.
He's only wearing a cape, and if you notice, the cape comes around and covers his genitals.
It makes me feel like it comes around in front because he tucks it in his butthole.
I mean, who knows? I
know.
That's Meleager. And so, let's say Meleager is eager to tuck his cape into his butthole.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't groan at that. You seem to be delighted by that. So there's this king of Caledon named Onius, and he incurred the displeasure of Artemis by neglecting to include her in a general sacrifice to the gods that he offered up out of gratitude for a bountiful harvest. And I don't know how, like, if you're doing a general sacrifice to the gods, you would you'd be like, oh, ye gods, here, take my sacrifice. Praise be to Zeus, praise be to Hera. Like, he's just like rattling them off, and he forgets Artemis, and that's a no. Like, if you're gonna, it's sort of like giving like a a thank you speech at an award ceremony.
Yeah.
If you either say thanks to everyone, and maybe you can be like thanks to everyone and my loving wife and my parents. But if you're gonna be like start listing off like all of the crew,
yeah, it's like
you have to do the whole caboodle.
It's like Jennifer Aniston winning the Emmy for Friends and not mentioning Matt LeBlanc. Like,
did this happen? You just made the noise.
It will.
It will. Coming soon for the Friends movie. I don't know why they're still giving her an Emmy for it though.
They can't stop. She's America's sweetheart.
So the goddess was enraged by this neglect, and so she sent a giant wild boar of extraordinary strength, and he destroyed all of like the grain and laid waste the fields and threatened the inhabitants with famine and death. So sort of what we were saying.
Yeah, always an eye for an eye.
Yeah. So at this time, Meleager, who was the brave son of Oeneus, returned from the Argonatic expedition. And the Argonatic expedition, it refers to the story of Jason and the Argonauts. Meleager, Oeneus' son, was one of the Argonauts. We haven't talked about the Jason and Argonauts yet, but spoiler alert, Meleager is one of them. And also, sometimes Atalanta is included as being one of the Argonauts as well, and and is the only woman on that expedition, aside from Medea, who gets picked up later. It's like a quest. So anyway, he returns from that expedition and he finds his country ravaged by the boar, and so he decides to announce that there's going to be this Caledonian boar hunt and enlists all the celebrated heroes of the age to join him in hunting this monster. And among those who answered his call were Jason of Jason and the Argonauts, Castor and Pollux, the twins, Oedus and Lynceus, a whole bunch of people. Theseus also joined because what else is he going to do? So the brothers of his mother, Althea, joined the hunters as well. And they were two guys that were not too happy. With Meleager back, their power diminishes because Meleager is the one who will inherit the kingdom. So they're already a little bit, surly when they join this hunting party. And then Meleager also invites Atalanta because, hey, there's this great huntress. And so either if she was an Argonaut, he already knows that she's a great huntress firsthand, or he comes back to Caledon and hears about this legendary huntress. So either way, he's really happy to have her as part of this party. But most of the guys are not happy to have her with them. Like, this girl, she's just going to slow us down.
She's going to be a virgin all over the place.
Yeah, she's going to be just virgining it up, flaunting that V card. She's probably going to be exposing her shoulders. That'll be distracting. So that's where she joins in. And so they start to hunt this boar, and the boar is incredibly swift. And that's when everyone notices how quickly Atalanta can run. She is the fastest runner that anyone has ever seen. And she's so swift that she's able to catch the boar, and she's the first one to wound it by throwing a spear at it.
Very, very Sarah Connor.
And as the hunt continues, it's like a 3-day hunt. It's like they are spending a lot of time trying to catch this gigantic boar. Meleager discovers that he's falling in love with Atalanta, and wait,
3 days?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're not into 3 days. How long does it take to fall in love with a beautiful, fleet-footed huntress?
3.5 weeks.
Okay. Well, for him, it was 3 days. Or if she was an Argonaut with him, he had years to fall in love with her.
You know what? 3.5 weeks, a hard crush. Love's, I want to say 8 months.
So she also develops a respect for Meleager, and she respects him because he was the one who invited her to be part of the boar hunt. He was the only one who was especially nice to her during the hunting expedition.
Cool. So she wants to be his friend.
Yeah.
That's not going to work out.
So when she wounds the boar, she allows Meleager to take the killing blow in this. And she figures this will help him out better in the long run because he has the two terrible uncles that are already sort of fighting him for the power. And to have the young returning prince kill the boar is just sort of good for the land.
Mm-hmm.
But Meleager loves her, and so afterwards he awards her with the tusks and the hide because he really champions her. Like, without that first strike that she did, we would have never caught this boar. This is Atalanta's reward. So his uncles come by and they're furious about this. You've given this great honor of being bestowed the prize of the hunt,
but it should have been Bernie Sanders.
It should have been Bernie Sanders, and so they take the hide and the horns back from Atalanta.
Oh no, I needed those. Well, really tied my living room together.
Well, it's more of what it means for the symbol of the hide and the horns is this is the person who saved the land gets these, and it also incurs the wrath of Artemis again because she loves the hunt. That's I'm goddess of the hunt, and you've taken the prize away from the rightful slayer of the beast that I sent for you. So Artemis incites a violent quarrel to arise between Meleager and his uncles.
Oh no.
And because she couldn't let it just stand, she was like, no, there needs to be blood. There will be blood. And Meleager kills his uncles, his mother's brothers, and returns the hide back to Atalanta.
All right, that worked out fine.
Well, okay, so it doesn't work out fine.
Of course it doesn't.
So here's something that needs to be known about Meleager, is that when Meleager was born, the Morae or the Fates entered the house of Oeneus just as Althea gives birth to Meleager.
We are the three Fates.
Oh, I'm busy.
Oh, yes, you are. You'll have a child that just emerged from your lady parts.
Yeah, I'm still giving birth to the placenta right now.
Okay, well, we're the three Fates, and we're here to tell you that you see that burning fire over there by the underneath your hearth.
Yeah.
There's a piece of wood in it burning right now, and your son's life is tied forever to that burning wood that's in there. And as soon as that burning wood is consumed entirely by the fire, your son will die.
You know, most people brought us like t-shirts and stuff.
Things that you needed.
Yeah.
Yes, we brought you something you didn't need.
So we're never going to light that stove again.
Exactly. So that's what she does. The Althea runs over to the fire, extinguishes the fire, takes that burnt piece of log and puts it in a chest and locks it away so that it can never catch fire. But
I would have thrown it in the ocean.
You would have thrown it in the ocean? See? That would have prevented this. So Althea, distraught and enraged by the death of her brothers, she runs back to her room, her chambers, opens up the chest, and lights the log on fire.
Wait, she kills her own son?
Yes. And Meleager, in the meantime, is like on a date with Atalanta, like trying not to be friend zoned by her, and is like, hey, I really like you. I did all those things for you. And oh, my heart doesn't feel good. Like, and he just like dies in Atalanta's arms as the as the log is extinguished, and or as the log is consumed by the flames. And then Althea, realizing what a rash and terrible decision she just made because she does love her son, takes her own life. Yet another mother who takes her own life out of grief for her son. Yep.
Jesus.
So we can add that to the tally.
We got virgins and we got suicidal moms.
Yeah.
Those are two female archetypes of Greek mythology.
Yep. So that's what happens to Meleager, and I guess makes Atalanta's choice to be a virgin and remain a virgin pretty easy for her because she was developing feelings for him, and now he did. So she doesn't have to worry about that.
That's good. That's what you want.
That's what she wants. However, the news of Atalanta's courage and intrepidness. Is that a word? I don't know. Well, anyway, the news
Intrepidation?
of intrepidity, I believe is the word. Displayed by Atalanta in the famous boar hunt was carried to the ears of her father, and it caused him to acknowledge finally his long lost child. And so because of that, he urged her to receive suitors so that she can.
Okay, look, guy. I was raised by a fucking bear. I haven't known you my entire life.
Yeah, but
no,
baby,
I'm not your baby. I'm a bear baby.
If you don't take a suitor, I can't give you like my vast fortune.
Cool. I used to shit in the woods. I still do.
But she decides to humor her father. And the way that she humors him is that she says, "Hey, you give me your word that you will accept me as your daughter, and
I'll sign up for OkCupid.
And I'll get." She's made an OkCupid account. She actually, I mean, after Meleager, maybe Tinder.
Whoa.
Oh, burn. So she her condition is, I will accept suitors if you'll give me my inheritance. However, if I am to marry them, they have to beat me in a foot race. And she knows no man can beat her in a foot race. And so one after one, men come to meet her in a foot race. And then her dad is a psychopath because every man that fails to beat her in a foot race, he murders.
Oh my God.
And
I really liked your daughter a lot.
Yeah. She's super fast. Can't catch her. Yeah. He does this to add to his daughter's guilt. To say like, well, this is he like ups the ante. Like, oh, well, they had to beat you in a foot race. Well, if they don't beat you, they're gonna die. And that sort of.
Why is he so thirsty about her having a boyfriend? That's so invasive.
Is this a new Greek archetype? Thirsty about daughter getting.
Thirsty matchmaker daddy.
Mm-hmm. So, finally, this your favorite word, beautiful youth. Hippomenes.
I'm sure he already has a boyfriend.
He arrives and what are you? What's going on?
Every once in a while when you say youth, I still remember the guy who got his head frisbeed off, and it makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, good old Hyacinth. So he shows up to woo Atalanta, and she is a little bit smitten. She's like, "Oh, this guy is actually
quite the youth."
He's quite the youth. He's pretty attractive, and so she isn't gonna throw the race though, because she still remembers Athena's words: if you give yourself to a man, great misfortune will befall you.
Mm-hmm.
However, she's also a little bit torn here because she's like, Hippomenes is many, many things. And I sort of wouldn't mind getting laid. Like, that sounds great. So, but she doesn't know what to do about it. But Hippomenes does have a plan. Hippomenes goes to the temple of Aphrodite, and he begs Aphrodite for help because he doesn't want to get murdered.
So why are these guys voluntarily doing this though?
I mean,
they really like her.
Yeah, but also there's, they get the wealth of her father's kingdom.
Oh, so this is kind of vain.
And
this is pretty shallow, huh?
Sure, yeah. And maybe a lot of these guys think like, yeah, that guy died, but he was slow. Like, I'm a guy, I can beat a girl in a foot race.
Mm.
But Hippomenes arrives at Aphrodite's temple. Oh, ye Aphrodite, I sacrificed this like animal for you. Will you please imbue me with your wisdom? Give me the strength, the ability to fall in love in your name. In your name, I want to fall in love and win the heart of Atalanta.
That was really dramatic, and you.
Oh my God, Aphrodite!
Yeah, I need you to clean up this animal blood
on your altar.
That's my coffee table.
Oh, where's your altar?
You're in my house.
Oh, wow! You keep a nice place.
Yeah, thank you.
Like
well, it was nice.
Shabby chic. It's befitting.
Yeah, you can. I'll give you probably wings and shit because I got a little fairy person here.
Oh, so I was thinking maybe there's Hesperides. Yeah, he has like that garden with like the golden apples. You're all about those golden apples, right?
They're so good.
Yeah. Can I have like 3 of them?
What can you do with them?
So I was thinking, I don't know. I was thinking you should tell me because that's how the story goes. so Aphrodite tells him to take these 3 golden apples.
Take these 3 golden apples.
And during your race, throw them off course.
Then throw the shit at the fucking road.
And the thing about the golden apples of Hesperides is that they are unable to resist by all humans. So Atalanta will have to stray from the course to stop and pick up the apples.
They're made out of pure gold, or they're just...
They're covered. They're decoupaged in gold leaf. No, they're solid gold apples.
Why are they apples?
I don't know. The same reason everyone hates snakes. I guess because apples are such a symbol of...
Wait, isn't there
bounty.
Another thing where they throw the apple?
Yeah. Eris threw Ares' consort threw apples to cause argument between men because they are so desirable that everyone must have them.
Okay. Same apple orchard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is a slightly different variety. This is like more of a Fiji. So they have their foot race, and just as Aphrodite said, he throws the apples, and Atalanta runs and is thrown off course. And also, just holding 3 solid gold apples in general probably would weigh you down. So at the end, Hippomenes arrives at the goal and wins her hand in marriage. And Atalanta is okay with this because she, again, was like, he's sort of hot, so this works. So you might think in a standard story, and she lives happily ever after.
No, of course she doesn't. I'm waiting for the apple to drop.
So the thing that goes wrong involves which Olympian Greek god?
Zeus.
It does involve Zeus. Yes. How did you know?
Oh, we haven't heard from that fucking serial killer rapist.
So, Atalanta and Hippomenes, they give birth. They have a son together. They have many, many years of wedded bliss. However, one day they're feeling frisky. Hey, Atalanta,
Yeah, babe.
You remember when we were young and we would just be like, we were just crazy.
Yeah, we were fucking wild.
Yeah, we were so crazy. Do you want to get like sort of spicy again? Like, okay, hear me out. There's this forbidden forest that
You want to fuck a nymph?
No, I don't. No, I don't need a third.
Oh, you want to fuck some centaurs? Because they love me.
No, just the two of us.
Okay.
Because I love only you, babe.
Oh, okay.
We could go to Zeus's forbidden forest.
Already love it.
And fuck in it.
This is gonna work out.
I think this will work out.
Everyone's gonna live.
Everyone will be fine. So they go to the forbidden forest.
And they're like
middle aged for
40.
Yeah. Well, it's ancient Greek, so middle.
They're 28.
Yeah. And they go and they have sex in the forest, and Zeus is so displeased by them having sex in his forest.
That doesn't sound like him.
That he turns them into lions.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And they live out the rest of their years as lions.
Wait, that's not a bad ending. That's the nicest, that's the happiest ending you've ever told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because you were mad that the kid got turned, like when Daedalus threw Talos out the window, you were like, and I was like, Athena took pity on him and turned him into
because that's not pity.
A bird.
Because she had, okay, first off, Zeus is a sadist, psycho, fucking horrible person. So if this is his thing of like, you shouldn't have done it. That's the gentlest sentencing he's ever given anyone. They still get to fuck all the time. They're both lions. It's not like one of them's a lion.
Mm-hmm. They still have their pride.
Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. To unsubscribe. No, it's not bad. It's not bad because first off, she grew up in the middle of nowhere in the forest, so she's fine. And you know, their kids are probably 10 years old at this time, and so they're self-sufficient.
Yeah.
No, they're fine.
I mean, she could just like pull her own mom and like raise another girl into a awesome huntress as a she lion. Absolutely.
Another unlikely animal friendship video that we've probably seen. And she still got us at the hunt. Or she's the huntress girl because the female lions do all the hunting.
Yeah.
And the men are very lazy, just like
Hippomenes, because like
he
didn't want to train to become fast enough to beat her. He instead just threw apples at the ground.
Yeah, no, they're fine. They're fine. That's the worst you get. Nah.
So then, what do you think about Atalanta? Then does she live up to any hype?
I'm fine with her. So far she's my favorite chick you've told me about.
Yeah,
yeah,
because she doesn't do anything too terrible.
She doesn't do anything psycho. And she also doesn't let her stupid God vision dictate her whole life.
So do you think Athena's vision for her is wrong then? That like she didn't incur great misfortune by turning into a lion?
No. She got to be herself. She got to meet a guy who she actually wanted to hang out with. Mm-hmm. And she got to keep being a huntress forever.
And she also got the joy of being a mother too, because
whatever.
Well, I'm not. I guess because like there are some like stories of her and her son, and I didn't really research them because they're sort of in that camp of like there's a lot of Greek myths that sort of fall into like 3 or 4 words or three or four sentence passages.
So they're Greek haikus?
Yeah. And so like everything about her and her son was like, and they sailed on a ship together one day. Like it's like nothing really. So she had like those moments with her son.
And being an animal in Greek mythology doesn't mean you don't get to ever see people again.
That's true. And I guess the myth doesn't go that way. Like, and then her son murdered them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It might, though. I'll double check on that one. I'll let you know next episode if that's what happened to them.
Don't pop my bubble.
You're having a baby, you need good news. Well, we're the Fates, and we're for you. We're gonna give your baby some news about how they're going to die. On the day you give birth to them, how you're gonna die. Hi, I'm one of the Fates. My name is something Greek. I work with my two sisters, and we tell every newborn baby what object their life is attached to. It could be attached to anything. It could be attached to this watch I'm wearing right here. It's a Rolex. I have money.
My kid's life was attached to my cell phone battery.
All right.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to Myth Understood. Please, if you have not, give us a little subscribe. Give us a little review.
A little 5-star review would be great.
Give us a little comment.
Mm-hmm.
Helps people find us.
Follow us on _Myth Understood on our Instagram and also on Twitter, and stay tuned for noir episodes. We're gonna start going noir.
We are writing a noir, so there you go.
But stay tuned for more episodes. Because we're just going to keep trucking because there's so many Greek myths.
As long as the Greeks are fucking, we'll keep trucking.
All right, let's put that. That's going to be our new motto.
Back tattoo.
Yeah. All right, goodbye, everyone. So, Apollo is the god of light and music. I'm here sitting with my own personal god of music, Matt Kessler.
That is so kind of you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going. I also have a podcast on this network. It's called Too Many Records.
That came out of the blue, but thanks. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell it. It's the first thing I say in a conversation.
Okay.
And much like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill constantly, I am constantly buying new records. And you can listen to me nerd about records with all sorts of really awesome people on the Too Many Records podcast.
Where can I listen to it? You
can go to Stitcher or iTunes and download it there, or you can go to toomanyrecords.net.
Well, I will do that right now.
Do it right now.
Good. And when she was hanging out in the woods, something happened. So, Jake, give me a pause here.
Jake, give him a pause. Cut this part out. If you leave it in the podcast, it's gonna be weird. This is a part that you should edit out.
Wait, you should say something that like really makes him want to cut it out. Like,
Jake doesn't have a butthole. He wasn't born with one. He has to throw up everything that he eats. His body doesn't digest food at all. He eats for pretend. It's all for play.
It's Dragon Wagon.